Yates will be serving to Alshon. And I think this is going to be a lot of solid shots. Both of them have great coverage up the line and at the net. The court coverage there is just absolutely fantastic. Yates Johnson coming out with a short little drop shot, bringing in Alshon, and I mean, he had it no problem. And this is something we saw Alshon yesterday quite a bit, moving around, striking a lot of forehands, creating a lot of space, and really dominating with passing shots. So let's see if that's going to happen today. And we're starting off at 1-0 for Alshon. And that's kind of what I'm talking about. Is Alshon really moves around and strikes that forehand well from all sides on the court. We've got a little bit of a line call situation. We don't have our screen up quite yet, and so I couldn't see that line, but the call was overruled, and the serve goes back over to Yates Johnson. Maybe that's what he needed right there, was just that little bit of momentum, and he is on the board now. It's got a little tough. We've got these new this season. Referee's been using pads, electronic pads to keep scores. Sometimes we have a little bit of delay on that, but I think overall it's working a lot better consistently. And the service going back to Alshon. 1-1. 1-2. Or 1-2. And that's, again, a fantastic shot. And that's something we are seeing in singles. I think a lot of times players don't realize that the concept of like a third shot drop is utilized very much in singles as well, because it's basically like a passing shot. That's a fantastic court coverage on both sides. I think Alshon really pulled himself out of a couple of really intelligent plays by Yates Johnson. Gets his hand on the paddle, great recovery. Now yesterday with a lot of the wind, we saw a ridiculous amount of let cords and net issues, but so far it's our first one today. We're still early though, but at least the wind is fairly calm. Go. And I think this is basically what we're going to see a lot of, really trying to dominate, coming in a little bit quicker to the net, trying to put pressure on those returns as much as possible. And then Yates just looking very comfortable moving forward off that. In control of the point. A lot of singles. His brother is obviously, which I confuse them on my sheet, Hunter. That's why I'm consistently saying Yates, because Hunter Johnson, also phenomenal singles player, so you know he's getting tons of practice and reps in, and Yates' singles game has improved immensely over the last season. Newly over full-time to the PPA Tour, I believe. And Yates just got a little, just miss hit. I think We've had a few of those this morning already, but again, it's early in the match and it's bound to happen for all of us. And this is Alshon's first lead at 4-3. Coming in, and I think it's just rushing a little bit. That both players are going to want to get to that net early. Just like that, but Alshon is doing a fantastic job of putting pressure. So we're coming back in at 6-3. I'd like to see Yates Johnson maybe slowing down just a tiny bit, really hitting a solid return. It seems like he's just rushing through his returns a little bit.
Hey. 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 1, 2.
There we go, and that's what we need to see from Johnson. It's getting himself set up for his shot a little bit more and just committing to that. There we go. He's playing more confidently, a little smarter with his shots, and that's all he needs to do. He's got the skill to do it. It's just in these moments when you're kind of down, how do you react to it? Which double timeout, that's no problem. But again, I think most of these issues are coming down to him just rushing a tiny bit, and that's a very common mistake that players make, that we want to get to the net quick and we serve very quick, and it often causes errors just because we're not setting ourselves up properly. I mean, that's fantastic court coverage from Alshon. He's got a little fist pump there, and you see he's going from one sideline, he's going all the way around that backhand to strike that forehand, and he's still covering sideline to sideline very, very well. And you've got Johnson there. He's trying to get Alshon to hit a backhand, and he got exactly what he wanted, and that's now giving a game point to Alshon at 10-4. Maybe a little too cute there. He had it. He was very confident in that shot, but it is keeping Johnson alive a little bit right now, and I think if he takes this opportunity, even if he gains a little momentum in these last few points, gets a little bit more on the scoreboard, that's going to help him win or lose this game in this second game. He is obviously frustrated right now. He's had the opportunity, and it's just rushing through the ball. And now it's giving Alshon another game point at 10-5.
Game point, 10-5.
That's the ball that Yates Johnson needs to be striking. It's getting his feet underneath him. He's committing to the ball nice and low, a little off pace, which is extremely important when we're talking about these passing shots. It's making sure there's not too much pace on the ball that they can react with. And the coverage with Alshon, he's so ready for that volley out in front. He's making himself big. He wants to be able to hit down on that ball as quickly as possible.
10-5.
It's the first time that we've seen Johnson really go in that cross-court passing shot pattern. You can see Alshon's already looking to cover that line a little bit more because that is where he's been going.
5-10. Side out.
And you can see that. That's a very common thing. Alshon, when he's coming forward, he's not going right to that middle of the court. He's kind of following up where the ball is, which is extremely important in singles.
Point. 11-5.
There we go. So there's that first game, and obviously Yates Johnson's a little frustrated. He's making some errors.
From the world's most iconic tennis arenas to the glint of an Olympic gold medal, a new court beckons, a new challenge arises. Jack Sock has conquered tennis. Now, pickleball's next. Mastery, precision, passion, that's what champions are made of. And when it comes to pickleball, there's only one company they turn to. Jack Sock's legacy continues with the #1 brand in pickleball. Selkirk Sport. We are pickleball.
Positive, he's getting moving. He's ready for taking it to 3 games. And that's kind of a little bit of what I was saying with Alshon was doing really well, and Yates Johnson, he kind of went towards the middle of the court. It's a natural tendency the players have, and Alshon is using that to go play behind him a little bit. But that's much better court coverage from Yates. He's got a little fist pump there, so that's what he needs to get a little more motivated.
0-1.
I love that aggression. He's going right at Alshon with those shots, but at the same time, you got Alshon, he's standing there, he's not moving. He says, I own this space, I am not backing up, I don't care how hard you hit, which is fantastic, because even if he misses that ball, that's still a tough thing to deal with when you have someone that's not afraid and not going to back up when you start hammering the ball at them. And that is giving Yates Johnson a little bit of an early lead at 3-1 in this second game, which is what he's looking for. He wants to take advantage of the side that he's on. He wants to create his opportunities and be a little more aggressive with his serves, making it more difficult for Alshon to come in. I mean, I'm watching where that ball is landing, how it's landing. It's heavy and it's strong coming on this side, and Alshon is going to take his first time out.
The official ball of the PPA Tour.
Have very good body language right now, which is a tough thing to do, I think, in these situations. That's what I'm talking about. In the first game, we saw a lot of Yates Johnson rushing through those balls, and he's setting his feet up, he's creating opportunity, and the ball is somewhere stuck. There it is. We had to kind of adjust behind the commentator booth. That's where it keeps ending up.
5-1.
And what we're seeing now is Yates Johnson being very aggressive on his serves, trying to get as many kind of free points as he can. And I think that's okay. We miss a serve. Often players are like, you can't miss a serve, but it's giving him more than it's taking. He's gotten maybe 3 points off of being a little bit more aggressive with his serve, and it's okay to take that risk. And again, I think that's a smart play from Alshon. Again, moving around his backhand, striking that forehand, and nice and easy, like a third shot drop, essentially. And that's what we're looking for from Yates Johnson. Getting his feet underneath him, solid ball striking. We are close to getting our second mic up. I'm looking forward to that. I was trying to figure out if Yates Johnson was going to be calling a timeout. It looks like he did decide to do it. He was kind of... That's a second time that Alshon is using that pattern. Yates is trying to get those returns deep into the backhand court of Alshon. He's easily moving around it, hitting a drop shot. Now that's, I think, a good adjustment. Instead of going to that angle in the corner, Yates Johnson's returning up the middle a little bit more, taking away that angle from Alshon. And that's tightening up a little bit. Alshon's coming in at 5-6, creeping back into this game. Again, he's just playing solid pickleball. He's just not missing very much, moving well, creating a lot of space for every ball he's hitting. So I think that's a great adjustment from Johnson, that he's now not coming forward on these returns as quickly. He's going for the opportunity to pass because Alshon's drops have been so fantastic. So it's a great adjustment, I think, on the fly. He's aiming more for passing shots
this is
versus
A2 on announcer 1.
Coming in.
This is A2 responding to producer on announcer 1.
Definitely a different dynamic, and he's trying to pull Alshon out wide and open up the court. See, Yates Johnson is going for a lot more backhands, whereas Alshon is favoring that forehand space. I think it's the right play. He's doing well when he's striking that. It's just, again, it's rushing the ball, which I think is Alshon is doing so well. He's making sure he's not rushing. He's getting his feet every single time underneath him. Here we go. It's a great return change. It's going now, giving him his forehand all the way to the other corner versus giving him the inside out forehand by aiming to his backhand side on the return. And that gives, I think, Yates Johnson a little bit of a lead that he's looking for at 7-5.
Sign out.
And
5.
it's a rare missed return, but I got to tell you, from my angle, the bounce on that serve was very, very tough.
Sign out.
It's got a little bit to follow up on, a little bit of 4-point difference, but certainly nothing can't come back from. I mean, it was a fantastic play by Yates Johnson, but Alshon was right there at that line ready for that ball. And again, like I was saying earlier, what Alshon does well is he doesn't back up. He's not playing defense when he thinks he might get challenged. He's using his size to challenge his opponent, and he's got fantastic hands to follow it up. And that's a good timeout coming from Yates Johnson. That 4-point.
When the world sleeps, greatness rises. Training rigorously and pushing boundaries. The next level isn't just handed to you, it's earned. Go next level with 6-0 Pickleball.
And their athleticism, if you haven't seen it in person, it is impressive.
It is. Big serve coming out the gate from Alshon. 9-9. I think the biggest thing that Yates Johnson wants right now is, I just want the serve back. Just give me that ball back and give him the chance. I mean, it was almost, it absolutely mishit that return, but it was still a good return, and you kind of saw they maybe gave up on it a little bit after he hit it out of frustration. That's okay. But that quick adjustment down from 4-8, and now all of a sudden Alshon is up 10-9 match point, which, again, we can all fight off a match point. I definitely believe Johnson can do it.
You said that a little soon.
He very much went for that big serve right there.
Got a little bit of a question here.
I thought it was out, but I was also on that far side. So there's a little bit of discussion right now on the line call. Just a tiny bit. I know from our angle that is the far side. What did you kind of get a good angle at it?
It looked out to me. I hate to say it out loud.
That's tricky.
But it's tricky. And it looks like that call is sticking.
It's interesting. I couldn't really tell from this side. I'm not really sure if a referee actually agreed with that or not, or if it just...
It looks like she did not see it.
It looks like they didn't see it, but, you know, to the credit of Yates Johnson, he didn't want to win. He didn't want to